Hello everyone and welcome back to Math for French Cars. Short video today as promised. Just gonna finish this job on a parking assistance which was faulty. This morning I have received a parking ECU module which is correct match for my one which I have in my car. And as you can remember in a previous video, we discovered we had a faulty parking sensor. We had a bit of dodgy loom in the rear bumper. We had a water damaged and burned parking ECU module in my car. So we fixed the parking sensor. We sorted out the loom. The only part which was missing was this parking ECU module. So I went on eBay, I ordered a replacement one, and it finally arrived. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna be trying to put everything in correct places and try to make everything work as it should. Alright, so we have a new parking ECU module here. As you can remember, our old one is there. As you can see, my connectors is disconnected because I didn't want to plug them into a faulty parking ECU module again. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna remove the spare wheel so we would have a bit of more space, undo the old one. The only reason I put it back in a place is because I didn't want to lose them 10mm nuts or anything. So I'm just gonna take that out, put a new one in, connect it, and then we're gonna see what's happening. Another thing I want to show you guys is sometimes when you have a fried ECU module, parking ECU module, what happens is, see these connectors, it can fry them up as well sometimes. So as you can see, there seems to be some water damage here, but we might have a look at this one. But my main concern is this one, because I remember when I removed, and as you can see here, this whole green stuff, this looks like a damage for me. So what I want to do is I want to make sure this is all right. So what I want to do, there is a little clip here, and then you can pull out the middle. And when you pull out the middle, this bit here actually separates from this bit here. And then what I want to do, I want to just check every single wire, make sure it's nice and tucked in, is still connected, is not burned off. So, and as you can see here, we have another problem here. One of the wires here is actually burnt off. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to even find the replacement connector for the parking ECU module, or we're gonna have to try to rewire it, because this is not good now. This is burnt and God knows what else is done to it. So we're gonna have to do that. I'm just gonna stick this back in the same place so I don't forget which connector it was. So it was one here, right? Okay, so we're gonna take it from here now. Right, my guys, so I just went into a loft and I have found myself something quite good actually for this job, which is basically same kind of connector, which is not water damaged or anything. It has quite a few wires coming out of it, and you can see this connector here, it's busted. So what I want to do is I want to see if I can match it up and take it from there. But I already can see that if I compare them both, they are same kind of design, but the problem is the wires, two wires ideally is missing from places. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go disconnect my battery. I'm gonna cut this connector off, the one which is water damaged as well and burnt, and I'm gonna take it home and we're gonna make connector out of this one. We're gonna move some of these connectors into different little sockets and make a replacement connector for this one, because this is totally damaged right now. So what you want to do next is just go to under your bonnet and disconnect your battery. Alright, so I'm just under my bonnet. I'm just gonna go disconnect my battery and let it be disconnected until I sort out that connector for the parking ECU module. Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave this right here right now like this, and that's gonna stay like that until I sort out that connector. Now with a power disconnected, I can just cut off this, right? But now I need to be careful because two The wires looks very similar. This is another problem really. So I'm gonna cut them in a different length, because some wires is the same color. I'm gonna cut them in a different length so I know exactly what I'm connecting when I'm connecting back up. I don't want to get confused and connect them in a different way. As you can see, this one is only gonna connect with a longer one, this one is with shorter one, and so on. So we're gonna go home and try to make one same connector as it was here. Right, my guys, so we have our homemade connector here. We have the damaged connector here, and now we're gonna have to work out which wire is which. So I've put pink one instead of longer green with yellow stripe, so that one is here. So I'm gonna have to start connecting my pink one from with a shorter green, and then so on. I'm just gonna have to find all the wires correct and connect them. I'm a bit old school, so I just literally gonna wrap them up in a electric tape, nice and heavy, so that they don't really shorten anything. But I could use alternative methods like a shrinking tubes or something. But I just want to make sure it's gonna work first, and then we will see if I need to rewire in the future and, you know, reseal it properly here. I'll do that, but for time being I'm just gonna use electric tape. I'm just gonna remove this and have a look here as well, make sure it's all right, because sometimes they can have some water damage here too. They look alright, don't look perfect, but I don't think any of them cables are burned or anything. They look like we are in the places where they should be. So I'll let this one be here. Let this one be the way it is. Now this one, I'm gonna use a new adapter here. Just one last check, make sure everything is correct before we carry on. So blue with blue, and this one brown with gray one. That is fine. Yeah, everything is fine. So what we need to do now, we just need to stick this one back. I hope you can see, stick this one back in here the way it should be. And what we want to do now, this old chunk, I might have to wrap it all up a little bit more just to make it look better. Okay, let's go and come forward a little bit, I believe, as well. Right, so at the moment I think we have all the connectors the way they should be, and we're gonna crack on and undo this 10mm nut securing the old Parking ECU module in place. So this one we'll take off, and gonna grab our new one. And this one, replacement one. I'm gonna stick this one on. Come on. Don't know why it doesn't want to go on. Anyway, we'll take it from here, scan it with Diagbox of something, and see what's gonna happen. But hopefully everything is gonna be alright. You never know with these things, electric, so it could be anything really. Could be more damage somewhere. Might still have to go for something else. I'm just working my way through with things and see how it goes. Right, so we secure that one. Hopefully nothing else is bad, but you never know. You can just hope in these things. Alright, so now we're gonna have to connect our white connector back on. Our rear parking sensor connector back on. Okay, take off this one for a second, I think. Okay, so everything is connected now. Well, we're gonna go have to connect the battery back on and see what's gonna happen. Alright, let's connect that battery back. Okay, let's go inside the car. Alright my guys, so we're gonna just start the car, have a look, deactivate, it says deactivate, it says fuel level low, but that's nothing, and activate is activate. Right, fingers crossed, hopes up. Let's try to actually put in reverse. Still no faults coming up, and maybe I'm gonna try to drive forward and see if it's gonna do anything. It doesn't do nothing at the moment. Okay, right, we're gonna try to drive backwards then to the wall and see if it's gonna actually do anything or not. So I'm just driving very close to the wall now, but there's no sign of parking sensors kicking on, which is crazy, but it happens sometimes. So now we're just gonna have to scan it with Diagbox and see what Diagbox comes up with. Maybe it needs to reconfigure out or something, because the ECU is not actually from 407, I think it's from RCZ or 308cc, something like that. So I'm just gonna scan it with Diagbox and let's see what we're gonna find. Right my guys, so as you can remember, just under your armrest there is a OBD socket, so I have to put Diagbox cable in the socket there, and then we're gonna be running Diagbox and see what it's gonna come up with. Right, so lovely Diagbox, yes, and make sure my internet is off. Okay, so let's see. My car is on ignition as well. It's required to scan the car. You have to keep on ignition, as you remember. And I wonder what is it gonna come up with, because at the moment it doesn't come up with any parking or any fault. So that's interesting situation here. And yeah, let's have a look. So we recognized my car VIN code, VIN number. Going on the Diagbox again. Right, so fault finding. We're gonna go and scan our vehicle once again and see if anything comes up with parking aid, under the parking aid. as you can see, guys, there is a 0 faults coming under parking aid, which is a bit surprising because so we just actually found some interesting section in our Diagbox, which was called parking assistance audible warning emitted by the switch model at the steering wheel. So we have had no in here and we have changed it to yes. So now I want to see if that's gonna work, because this unit has been replaced. It used to be a Renege unit in here. Now we placed slightly older unit in this car, and that might be something to do with that we cannot see actual parking assistance right here. But we still, if a parking assistance working the way Diagbox says, it should still emit a noise when we go closer to obstacle. So as you can see, I could hear the beep. And that's something which is quite promising actually. So let's just have a look. How is this gonna react and what's it gonna do? I'm coming closer to the obstacle. I just want to know if it's gonna do something or not. I hope you can hear it, guys. So I can hear the warning, but I don't have no visual on it. And I think that's because I've replaced this unit and something is not 100% correct. Now we're gonna try front. Now we're gonna work through everything slowly. You see, I'm right by the fence and it actually detects that. Then I go backwards now. Yeah, and go forward. Here you go. So I have a annoying audible parking assistance now, but what I want to do is I want to have a display here where it would show me how, you know, I just want to have it here on this unit here on the screen where it shows me how far I'm from obstacle and stuff like that, not just noise. So ideally I would prefer this over the beep, but what the beep tells me is that my parking system is now working. Parking assistance ECU module is actually working, so rear and front parking is actually activated and working and everything is fine. But I'm still trying, and I still want to try to do some sort of change on Diagbox, try to bring my visual on here back so I could see where is the parking assistance in here. So let's try to do that. Right everyone, so I've just been digging in Diagbox for good 20 minutes because I'm pretty sure Diagbox can do pretty much anything with your car when it comes to setting up different functions and everything. And I think I was 100% correct thinking like that, because I have actually made these parking sensors display now. So I'm not only receiving an audible warning, I'm also receiving a visual warning. As you can see, that's my front, and now I'm gonna be reversing towards the obstacle in the back, and as you can see on my screen, it's gonna be showing for me that I'm coming to the obstacle from the rear as well. So I'm coming closer to the wall now, and as you can see here, it's actually working. So this video, it's a success, and we're gonna finish this part 2 in a minute. But the only thing I want to show you guys is how did I manage to activate the screen on my unit here with Diagbox so that my parking sensors are displayed on my screen. So I have scanned my car once again under repair scan, and then I went under pressed telematics, When I pressed my telematics, I've pressed configuration. So I've pressed configuration, and then manual configuration, and then it says you have to do this while the engine is running. So I started my car. I have started my car, and then I press this button here, press again, and I've done configuration of telematics unit. When I done configuration of telematics unit, it was a few sections. It was the VIN configuration, configuration of customer options, configuration of display options, configuration of personalization menu, clearing of personal data. So I've pressed, I believe, configuration of customer options, and here first thing which come up in the top, my parking aid was actually declared as missing. So what I've done, I pressed on a parking aid, I pressed on a little green button in the bottom, and then I pressed selection, and then you can choose what you want to do. You want to have a missing, you want to have a present front, present rear, present front and rear, and I've chose present front and rear. And I've done, once I've chosen that, then I've just done configure out, and you see it says no parameters to be configured, because at the moment I've already done it, but for you it's gonna basically start to count like 1 to 100, like percentage. So you just wait it out, and that's it. And then it changes present front and rear parking sensors. So once that was done, I just left everything. Literally, you can close your Diagbox, and as you can see, guys, my parking sensors right now are working in audible matter, and they also display on my unit. So it's great. I finally managed to achieve what I intended to achieve. As you can see, we're coming next to the fence and it's actually showing me. So I've managed to sort it out, and I couldn't be more happy with results. I'm still gonna go through the looms and give them extra isolation and make them, you know, proper, so that they would not receive any water damage so easy due to moisture or anything like that. I'm gonna isolate everything there properly. But finally, since I bought this car first time, I actually have working parking sensors, and it's great. You know, it's gonna take me time to get used to, but this is amazing. This is what I wanted for this car, to have it all working, every single thing on it. And that was one thing which was there, and I knew it's there, and I've never had the time to check on it. But once I've done it and I made it work, I'm really happy now. And yeah, it's a really nice little function which is definitely gonna help me to park up and stuff like that sometimes, maybe. Anyway, guys, just a little run through what we had to do to, you know, in previous video and to this video today. So my problems in my car was faulty parking ECU module, which was water damaged, parking sensor in the rear passenger side, it was broken, loom was not very tidy, I had to sort that out as well. The connector, which is main connector, black connector, which is going into parking ECU module, that was also damaged. One of the wires was damaged, looked like it all has a water damage in it. We rewired it and replaced the actual connector, and I could have used the same connector. I could have just cleaned it up, you know, installed the new wires in it, and it would have done exactly the same thing. But because I have so much spare parts in my storage, I just run out, find a similar connector, come back, bang, it's the same connector. I replaced a few wires, connected old school way, which you probably all gonna be commenting about, like, why are you using this electric tape and stuff like that. But nevertheless, I'm still gonna sort out. I've just done it to check if that's gonna actually work or not. I'm still gonna, you know, redo it a little bit better and make sure everything is nice and properly done. Anyway, what else we had to do? We had to activate audible warning for parking assistance, and we also had to activate visual warning for parking assistance in Diagbox. And now everything is working just the way it should. All together, the parking ECU module from eBay cost me £18, and I couldn't be happier. That was a very good investment. I'm glad I can finally finish this video and actually having a parking assistance working as it should. So if you enjoyed this video, guys, click like button, subscribe my channel if you haven't subscribed yet, and I'm gonna see you shortly in the next video. This week I'm preparing my car for MOT, and I'm gonna making possibly a second video this week. So guys, thank you for watching. I hope you managed to sort out your parking assistance as well, and have a good day.